Hello, I'm Ron Pula. Today my presentation will be on culturally responsive classroom practices. What we're going to be talking about today will be what actually the practices are with the CRPs, what exactly that process is, how we can go around incorporating it into our lessons, setting up our classrooms, and I will be wrapping it up with an example of a lesson plan that I presented to my principal, wonder how that worked. So going on. Why do we want to have culturally responsive classrooms? Well, what we're recognizing is after the last few decades, students have changed. Their experiences are different, upbringings, even backgrounds. And we need to accommodate for these changes. You just got to keep moving forward. Classrooms now reflect families of various races, cultures, social, economic statuses, you name it. So it's a little bit of everything. We have to accommodate that, we have to incorporate that, and we have to move forward with it. The way we can do this is when we change our classrooms, what we're trying to accomplish is getting our students to be excited to learn, engage them in the work. We want to bring in their already established intellect, their social and emotional skills and knowledge that they have from wherever they're coming from. Bring that into the classroom. Let's bring it part of our discussion. We want to create a conductive learning environment that values the strength they bring in, that we were just talking about. We want to focus on their strengths, not their deficits. Let's be positive, not negative. Everybody's here to learn. We just got to figure out how to get them to where we need to get them. Also, we want to embrace the strategies that acknowledge these differences, their backgrounds. And one of these strategies we'll talk about is a learner teacher-centered practice. And also we'll talk about creating and establishing a culturally inclusive classrooms that makes them feel valued, safe, and included, that they belong here. How do we do this? Well, first let's start with embracing the cultural diversity. Showcase it. Put posters in your room, pictures, create a student wall, recognize the students, and also provide cognate and bilingual books for them. They have two languages, help them out, put them at ease. We can also recognize the different holidays and special events and traditions of these cultures. You're going to be facing it in the adult world. I know I did on different things. Learn it now. Share it. Set up your classroom in a student-centered format. This is going to highlight small groups and learning stations, which we'll cover in a second. Also, when you create your lessons, make them theme-based. Don't just do one thing or 5 separate lessons. Try to see if you can combine the lessons, 4 or 5 lessons, over one theme. So instead of throwing 5 things at these students, we're taking one theme and we're doing little parts all during the day. It'll help them grasp it a little better. Lastly, we also want to promote and model the classroom for what our expectations are for our students. Demonstrate the inclusion. Always promote the positive attitudes, and then demonstrate the respect for their culture, their knowledge, their skills. They all have strengths. Let's utilize them. And we do this by learning who our students are, get their backgrounds, build a trust, learn how to pronounce their names correctly. This is so vital. I'm still learning for kids I've been dealing with for months because just so many kids, you lose it. While we're doing this, you can do icebreakers, questionnaires, all different kinds of little things to get to know them. We want to discover their interests, their likes, their dislikes. Let's learn about their family members because it gives you that bond. Help them their aspirations so we know which direction to push them to help them get to where they want to be. Make sure that they feel they belong there. Embrace them. Okay, encourage them to share their thoughts and knowledge and the connections with the material. This way, once they kind of connect to it, they have a deeper understanding and they'll stay involved, which is what we're looking for. Our learner-centered teaching, the strengths of it is, again, we mentioned it engages the students in the material. We're getting feedback on the spot. Okay, they're creating ownership. So now they're getting involved. Hey, this is mine. Maybe when it's theirs, they put more interest into it. We're going to bring in their strengths and interests. And by doing so, hopefully we get a better project. And it's easier for them to kind of get in and then maybe shoot off to the side a little bit. All this is doing is incorporating the contextual learning, which is a deeper aspect. And then the last part of it is you definitely want to encourage small group work and learning stations. And you can facilitate discussion. Let the kids just guide them to the answer. They'll find it on their own. We do the group work and learning stations and let them go what they want to do. Get them engaged. The sports lesson that I was going to do came to me from an email from the Wolves. I didn't know they did field trips. And when I looked into it, it sounded pretty good. So this is kind of where I'm taking their stuff and incorporating it. My theme will be sports. My centerpiece will be hockey because it will involve a field trip to go watch a Chicago Wolves hockey game. In addition, the Wolves provide you with an interactive workbook, which I've expanded upon. So when I introduce a topic, I'll use the wonder-filled way of learning. Get the whole class engaged, not just the KWL for a student, but more knowledge and involving what the kids know, what they don't know. Where do you want to go? How are we going to get there? How are we going to study this? How are we going to get to the final product? And then the wrap-up will be a presentation that it would be referred to as an iSearch. They get to choose what they're going to present, not me. Okay, when we're doing this, what do you know about hockey? Get the group going. What do you want to learn? And I definitely want to push into bringing your cultural backgrounds. What's your native sports in your home country? The popular ones. What sports? Let's compare them and see how things go. Are they as popular as hockey? Are they more? And then we'll discuss the field trip to the Wolves game. I'll put up the handbook, and then we'll also decide how are we going to get to complete this and present it. So in doing this, the subjects I've chosen to expand upon would include math. And in doing math, we would be using measurements in both standard and metric. Easiest thing first off is, what's the size of hockey rinks? What's the area? How about the hockey net? How big is it? Give me the area. I can even I can throw in perimeters for the edges. Who knows? Part of that out too, we're going to do a compare and contrast. Are all hockey ice rinks the same? Are they different at different levels of competition? I do know there's a difference between National Hockey League and Olympics. Okay, let's find out what it is. Let's compare our sizes. How about two other sports? Your favorite sports, your home country sports. Soccer, if that's what it is. What's the difference between the two playing surfaces and size-wise, net-wise? We'll go on with that. Move on to science. We're going to conduct our research, which I thought was kind of fun, try to push them into. Let's talk about the ice. How do you make ice? What do they use to make the ice? Is it just water? Is it more than just water? What are the different surfaces that other sports are played on? Let's compare these and how they're maintained or created even. And getting back to the ice, is all ice the same? How about ice for hockey rinks or ice figure skating or speed skating? Is it the same ice? Is it the same water? How do they make ice that can be an ice rink that they can put outside in Los Angeles in the 7-degree heat? How do you do that? That's what we're going to do for our science. And then we also want to analyze, trying to get in the direction of how does the environmental effects on playing surface, playing conditions, if it's warm in the building, cold in the building, how does that affect the conditions? And we can, again, expand it into other sports as well. Go into geography, and then we'll talk about the popularity, the countries that the sports are played in, particularly hockey, and then go on from there, compare to, again, your favorite sports from your home countries. And on the globe, we'll figure out, well, what regions and where are these sports played? What part of the globe, or climates, or regions, or countries? So that'll be our geography portion of it. Go into social studies. We're going to study the history of the sport, the growth of it, from backyard ice rinks to international sports. Along with the social studies, pick out, that's your choice. You got a group. Your star or favorite hockey player, somebody you may have heard of or you learned about. Or go back and we can do some research regarding your favorite sports star from any sport or player, especially from your native country. We're going to keep pushing in. Compare. Go back. What goes on in your country, if that's where you're from, and let's compare it to what's going on in hockey or other countries. So we'll take it out a little bit, but the social studies will be on the people, our founders, who created, how was hockey started? Who were the players? Anything along those lines. And then we'll wrap it up with our iSearch presentation. And I say iSearch is because the group or the student, they're going to choose what they will present on. Anything that's part of what we talked about. It could be hockey, any hockey topic related to hockey, your individuals. What I would like to see is something with comparisons to talk about just your favorite sport, your favorite player, sports in your country. How do the people in your country support the teams? Is it very popular? Is it not popular? Have a presentation. This will be an oral presentation. You can come up with something, draw a picture, or you can even use some Google Slides. We'll put you on the BenQ board. But that would be your presentation, and it's all being conducted and chosen by the group or the individual as long as it's about something in our theme. So that was our discussion, on why we're doing culturally responsive practices, CRPs, is we want to make a more encompassing classroom that engages everybody. We want children involved. Everybody's important. Everybody has an opinion. Everybody has knowledge. We're from different parts of the world. Trust me, my background is not the same as your background. Everybody has something to offer. Let's share it. And then let's build on it. And let's make everybody aware of it. And give you an idea that I thought it'd be a lot harder to put a plan together. I don't think it really is. It takes a little bit of work, but it can be done. So thank you very much. And I wish everybody well going forward in your teaching careers.